Welcome to Tilly's Trans Tuesdays. This week is a brief special about something I've mentioned just so many times before, but I'm going to say it again because today, June 27, 2023, is the day my book, Begin Transmission, The Trans Allegories of the Matrix, is out. Let's talk about it! Hi, I'm Tilly Bridges, your host, and I'm joined by my writing partner, my best friend, my wife, our token cis representation, the dark sunglasses to my black patent leather, Susan Bridges. Matrix, see?
I guess so. All right.
Hi.
I'll allow it.
Okay, so we don't have a guest this week, and it's a little more free form. I just want to talk about my book because it is out today, and
even though Tilly has done 1 million interviews on this book already.
Well, here's the thing. I have been doing many interviews and articles, and you may have seen a bunch of them. But I'm also aware that there are people who listen to this podcast who found it on iTunes or another podcasting source and don't follow me on social media, and so may not have seen any of that stuff.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, and so there's no, like, quote-unquote official Trans Tuesday for this week because I'm going to be very busy with book stuff. But we wanted to do this little episode to talk about it because I've mentioned many times that it's coming out. And so what is it? Okay, so it's a book about the trans allegories of the Matrix. When I started doing these Trans Tuesdays, I think I've mentioned that I wanted to use my privilege that I still have because I'm very, very white, even among trans people, trans women, and I didn't lose you.
You are very privileged.
Yeah, and I didn't lose a home or a job or anything. I have a lot of privilege. And so I wanted to use that, and I'm a writer, so I started these Trans Tuesdays, and it was around that same time that the Wachowskis had come out and said that they intended the movies to be a trans allegory. And since I was already writing about trans stuff, and I'm a screenwriter, everybody just kept asking me, Tilly, what does that mean? What are they saying? And I got a little fed up with so many people asking me. And I'd always loved the movie, so I thought, cool, I'll watch it again for the first time after realizing I was trans and see what they have to say. And I thought I would get one thread out of it. And it became 24 threads across the entire franchise because they're so deep and specific to the trans experience. And I was so surprised by what I found, and I wanted other trans people to see it and understand it too, because we're so deeply seen by these movies. And that meant a lot to me, and I wanted to be sure other trans people knew that too.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But also, it's not just for trans people. It has a lot to say about cis people and how to be a good ally, and it has a lot to say about, you know,
society
at large and coming together despite our differences and how we're stronger together and how we need to choose not to hate. And they have really, really beautiful messages, and each movie has its own little story that's a different part of the allegory. Each one builds on the ones that came before. And what you need to understand is that basically the entire franchise tells one person's transition journey from Thomas Anderson to Neo to Trinity. And I know you're like, wait a minute, tell you what, Neo does never become Trinity. Oh, but he does. You just don't know. You gotta see. So that's...
I mean, yeah, the first thing is just like, haven't you noticed how similar they look to each other?
That's on purpose.
Like, they look very alike.
When I wrote these threads the first time, I had people saying, that they never fully got the love story angle because they looked so similar. They felt like they were siblings. And I'm like, yeah, there's a reason they look so similar. And it's not a romantic love story. It's a story about self-love, about loving yourself enough to do what you need to do to become your true self. And Most of the characters represent different parts of Neo's psyche along his journey, and it's just got so many amazing things to say. Well, let me ask you,
Oh no.
Susan,
Oh no.
because I'm talking a lot and I need a break. You read all of the threads, you edited all of the threads
I
before I
did
put them
not.
up. Yeah, you do. You edit all my threads
Did
before they go
I?
up.
All right, if you say so.
Every Trans Tuesday you've edited before I put it up.
Okay.
And then you were the first person who read the book form and you did an editing pass on that for me as well and
I know, and now
helped
you're
me
gonna
with
ask me to remember
revisions.
crap, and I'm bad at that. Okay.
No, but you are a cis person. And
Yeah.
so I thought you could perhaps speak better to what the allegories meant for you, or how did you interpret them? How do you feel about them as a cis person?
I think it's I know other Hollywood people that we've kind of talked about with this is once you know about the allegory, like it's so intentional.
Yeah.
Like every little thing is intentional.
Like every little thing.
And it is absolutely astonishing because we work in Hollywood a little bit, is that
Yeah.
that happened. And all of this, like, uh, it's obvious that I think Warner Brothers was not aware that that's what this was.
Nobody was except for the Wachowskis.
But like so much of their messaging got through. They did not, it
Yeah.
feels like they did not compromise on any of it,
Yeah.
which is like stunning in itself.
That's part of the beauty of allegory is that if you don't know about it, you can't note it to death and make people take it out, right?
If you don't tell them.
Right. Exactly.
It's made me rethink like how we pitch some things, I
Well,
think.
yeah, but I mean, I've mentioned several times that it's 2023 and we don't have a major franchise by trans people, starring trans people, about trans people. It's still impossible. Trans people are getting told as they pitch projects that we're only going to let it go forward if you change your trans lead character to a cis character. And that's terrible. It is 2023 and that's still happening. So that's
There's
why you need things like Allegory to be able to get our stories past these gatekeepers, which, by the way, the movies have a lot to say about as well.
And I mean, I just want to say that we are at a really strange place in Hollywood right now with the writers' strike, with workers actually saying, wait, this is not okay. Like in so many industries, people are being crushed out of daily life. What I mean is like people are realizing there's a different way.
Yeah.
I think that plays into the Matrix a lot too. And
Yeah.
I mean, even before I knew that it was a trans allegory,
Yeah.
like I loved the symbolism of the white rabbit, the Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
Like what you're seeing might not be true and what is true.
Yeah.
Like all of those things are really resonant on that same kind of wavelength.
Sure.
And I think the transness of it is also that same wavelength of everything you've learned and been told is not necessarily the truth.
Yeah. Well, what you have said has been smart and good, which I've come to expect from you. However, you did not really answer my question
What was your
because
question?
you approached it more as a writer, as what these trans allegories were. But I'm asking you like as a cis person,
Oh, like
these
from a
movies that
cis perspective.
right, that speak deeply to a trans perspective, do you still find that there was stuff in there for you? Did you still connect with bits of it? What do you feel about what they have to say about cis people and stuff like that?
Understanding that, wait, we are the
community at large. And each movie builds on, like I said before, on the one that came before. So you can't just jump in later and really understand it. You kind of have to go in order. The book takes you through sort of it, well, not sort of, actually by timestamps, because so much of the allegories are conveyed visually through what they're showing you on screen, what they're not showing you, where color is placed, where it's not placed, what colors are there, what are missing, where are the characters in relation to each other, and the colors on screen. I say in the book that the preferred way, I think, to read the book is to watch the movies on the biggest screen you can as you're reading and pause it at the timestamps and really, really look at what the Wachowskis are showing you in that moment, because a lot of the allegory is conveyed visually. It taught me a whole lot as a writer and a creator about how to be way better at what we do. So that's really cool. But it's just they're just beautiful. They're so beautiful. They have so much to say, so many wonderful things. And they also, they as I mentioned, they began as Trans Tuesday threads. Those threads on Twitter and Facebook are still up. And my intent is to leave them there because I want them to be accessible to everybody, right? And especially trans people. Not a lot of trans people, or I should say a lot of trans people do not have financial stability because of, problems in our society. And the threads are free and they're always going to be free. My intent is to leave them there forever. But if you want the book version, it is also there. The book will hit a different audience. There will be some crossover, but it's also for people who are not on social media. But
Well, and you also expanded on the threads.
right,
So
we combined them and I expanded them because I can't link to things like I could in a social media thread, but I also have more room because it's not like limited on a tweet size. So you could explain things a little more. And they've been revised since the threads, so they're not the exact same experience, although they are similar. But a lot of people have asked, over the years that I've been doing this, if there was a way that they could support me or even send in donations. And I don't want that. I don't want your money because I'm financially okay. And there are other trans people who need it much more than we do, or than I do, I should say. But if you do want to support me, I would love it if you bought a copy of the book. I don't get that much from each sale, but it's a little bit. And that's the best way you could do it. And, it's available in paperback and hardcover and also EPUB. The EPUB version is only $10, which I think is really cool. It's very, very accessible and affordable to everybody if you like digital. And
or buy both.
Or all three.
Look, I'm going to just
You.
put this out there because this is something that I do now that I have the privilege of having a little more money. Sometimes I buy a book on Kindle and I buy the hard copy and I put the hard copy in the little free library so that other people can enjoy it.
Speaking of, well, before I jump to that, let me go back and say there will also be an audiobook. I'm going to record it myself. That is my plan. My voice, I've talked multiple times how I've been in voice therapy. And I didn't have the stamina to do it for a long time, but I think now I do if I do it in chunks. But I haven't been able to start that yet because my voice has been continually tired for a month from all the interviews that I've done.
Yeah.
But my hope is now that the book is out, all the promotional interviews should taper off, and then I will be able to start recording that. I will post on social media, and I'm sure also mention in one of these episodes about the progress of it as it gets completed, when that might be available. I don't know how long it will take me to do, but I'm going to do it. So for those of you who need them for accessibility reasons, need audiobooks, or just prefer them that way, you will get a version of it. It's just going to take me a little bit to get it done. But I also wanted to mention, like you mentioned, little free libraries, actual libraries. If you cannot afford any version of this book, which is totally understandable, I have been there. You can request your library order a copy. And that benefits me. And every time someone checks it out of the library, that benefits the author. We get a cut of that. And so you can really help by just requesting that your library get a copy of it. And even if you buy a copy, request your library get a copy of it as well. That's another thing that you could do. It costs you nothing that would really help. So that would help me, but it would also help get the word out so that more trans people can find this book. Because these threads, like so many people told me after reading them, that it helped them understand their own transness, that it helped them discover they were trans. It helped crack their egg. There were, trans people that felt so seen by it and understood in ways they hadn't before. And there were cis parents that told me it helped them understand their trans kids. And that's beautiful. That's all I could have ever asked for. So I want that to hit as many people out there as possible. So, requesting it that your library order a copy is a really big help with that. So, and it doesn't cost anything. You can just say, hey, I'd like to read this book. Could you order a copy of it for me? And they will do it.
Yeah, librarians are always looking for that kind of thing.
And the more people who request the more they're inclined to actually get it for you. So
Right, and I am a big Kindle Libby user,
Yeah.
like Libby, the library app.
yeah.
So here's a tip for those library people. If you see that your library has a copy of Begin Transmission, put it on hold. Because the more people put it on hold, the more copies they're going to get.
That's true.
I've even done that for books that I was intending on purchasing just to support the book.
Right.
And so sometimes you see the library only has one copy, and then you come back and there's 20 copies.
Yeah.
Because they respond. They want to get the book.
Right. That's their job. And so the more that you request it and check it out and read it really helps a ton.
Yes.
So please do that.
Spread the love around.
Yeah. And if you have questions about it or things that are in there that you want more info on, or you just want to talk about it, you can hit me up anytime. I love talking about these movies. I never get tired of it. You're
Tilly
making
is
a face.
very online.
I am very online, but I'm also very, very, very big fan of these movies. And so I will happily talk about them with you at any time.
Look, I'm not going to make fun of you because you already had to wrangle me for half this podcast. Back to the book.
This is the book. I'm talking about the
know.
book.
I know.
What do you make fun of me for what?
No, I was just, for being online.
Oh, but you already did.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
I know. Anyway, that's it, really. That's just, the basics of it. I hope you'll check it out. Even if you haven't been a fan of the movies before, even if you've never seen them, it has so much to say to you. I mean, I don't think you could read the book without having ever seen the movies. You would understand, but it wouldn't be as meaningful. So even if you haven't watched them before, and this might be your first time through with the books, do it. Because even if sci-fi action movies aren't your jam, that's not really what it's about. It's about so much more that's just under the surface, and you're going to love what you find there. It's beautiful stuff. So I hope you will check it out. And I thank you for listening and your support.
You should say the title of the book again in case they didn't get it.
Oh, yes. The title of the book is Begin Transmission, the Trans Allegories of the Matrix. And it is written by Tilly Bridges. What a coincidence.
Weird.
I know. It's available at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, or you can get it like at any bookstore. You could, even if they don't have it, they can order you a copy. So just like the library can order you a copy. So you can get it anywhere, everywhere. It's good.
Yay!
All right. Thank you very much for listening and for your support.
Okay, bye-bye.
Go watch The Matrix. It's great. Tilly Bridges, End Transmission. Tilly's Trans Tuesdays is hosted by Tilly Bridges and Susan Bridges, with audio editing and sound mixing by Jillian Morgan. Special thanks to Daisy and Jane for the use of Sorry Not Sorry as our show's theme music. Please stop by and show your support at daisyandjane.bandcamp.com and soundcloud.com/daisyandjane. You can find me at Tilly Bridges on Twitter and Hive, on Mastodon at tillybridges@mastodon.social, at facebook.com/TillySBridges, and on Insta at HeckYeahTillyBridges. And you can find Susan on all of those at Susan L. Bridges. The Google Doc and social media versions of this week's topic and all past topics are available at Tilly'sTransTuesdays.com. For more information, visit pendantaudio.com. Thanks for listening.